Even now?
Even now,
What?
yeah. So this is GBC's sign. Ulama. Ulama.
Entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs. Check it out. Make a wish.
Oh, it's nice.
And the dream comes true. If you believe it, then you will do it. In the heart of China, baby, the enterprise block, the missionaries and the visionaries take the hot spot. Entrepreneur intelligence and skills here at GBC. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it here at GBC.
Brand.
Let's do it, do it, do it. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, do it, do it. 许愿之后，你就会实现。如果你相信，你就会有这种感觉。在中国的心脏，这条企业道路，梦想家和实践家全部都热烈入驻，创业在 GBC。
Entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs.
Pick on.
Entrepreneurs. Let's go!
Cool, yeah?
Yeah, we should have dance. Like as opening.
Yeah.
GBC, let's go!
Hi, my name is Mars Puyan. GBC Live. Today we are having Chen Wang from SLUSH. Before getting to the topic, I would love to have a brief background about her. Chen Wang is an international certified coach since 2013. She's the CEO of SLUSH China, who born in China and had been in Finland for the past 10 years. She has experience of coaching individual on life purpose searching, relationship and career and development topics, and entrepreneurship. Additionally, she has also helped organizations to improve employees' work performance and work and life balance. So Chen, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate for your presence and your time.
Thank
I know
you.
that you're so busy for the event that you are having. It's the biggest startup event that hopefully we can have it soon. Why not just giving a sort of short background about yourself, also SLUSH and some activities that you have been doing, then we can go through the topic.
All right, thank you. And it's great to be here. And thank you, Mars, for having me here. So a little bit something about me. So currently I'm heading SLUSH in China. So SLUSH is the biggest China and Europe startup platform. So we focus on brand by startups and also the investors across kind of the two continents together. And so far we have been already 10 years in Europe, and we're the biggest one in Europe in terms of the startup platform. And then since 2015, so SLUSH started its set its footprint in China. So I'm heading the organization. So far we have already brought each year about 100 startups here. But then in each startup event we organize annually, we have around 5,000 people. And then each time, and we have around 300 matchmakings. And then in 2016, the first 4 months, through SLUSH platform, we helped people to raise money, 380 million.
380 million.
Yes.
That $380 million.
Euros.
Euro.
Yeah. In
It's gonna be $400 million. Yeah. What about us?
Oh, yeah, come to SLUSH. Let us help you.
Yeah, we would love to. Yeah.
So very briefly about myself, before SLUSH, and then so I started 2 of my own startups back in Finland. I lived here for a while. And then besides that, just as you mentioned, one of my passion is life coaching as well.
Nice.
So that I do it as a hobby to help entrepreneurs to find a good life-work balance. We all know how that is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
As our topic is learning methods of successful team, so we want to go through the topic, and we want to see that how we can have this session for our viewers that they are watching us, and I hope they can learn from this session. And also they have given us the good feedback last time for the lean startup actually. Last week we had a lean startup discussion here with with Colin from Halt Price, the global director of Halt Price, which I really appreciate him for his presence here. So when we are talking about learning method of successful team, what kind of team? Team in big corporations, in medium-sized corporation, in a startup? Or what kind of team you're talking about? Which size?
In this context, it applies more for the startup teams, and especially in startup phases, I categorize it in two phases, stages particularly. So one is about the steering phase, and another one is about the acceleration phase. So the first phase, it means that it's a phase where the startup's founders and also with this team to test different kind of scenarios and finding the market fit, and then also pivot its strategy very frequently in order to find its market position and in order to reach a stage where it turns the engine of growth on. And then after that, it would be very kind of a quick exponential growth, and then that's the acceleration phase.
Okay, so you mentioned that we have two stages or two phases, which the first phase is the steering phase and the second phase is acceleration phase. So for this topic that we have, for this session that we have with our viewers, we gotta go through which phase? I mean the initial phase, which is the steering?
Yes, yeah. So today we're gonna focus on the first phase.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So before we reach that turning point of the hockey stick to go up, and then so the learnings are the fundamentals for the company to grow in the future. Yeah.
So the steering phase, when we are talking about the steering phase, how it goes? I mean, what kind of levels we have? Do we have any method? Do you have any ways to go through this stage? How is it? I mean, how we can start?
Absolutely. And then also because I want to just bust someone's assumption of how a startup should be successful, because I think traditionally startup founders would focus on a few things. I can name it, and you can, for our viewers, and you can see if you belong to this category of people who think those things are the most important things. So some founders think money is the number one thing for them to succeed. So if they don't have money, and then therefore, I can't do anything. And then second is a good team. If I don't have a line of stellar team members, and then I can't succeed because I don't have good enough people. And then so for someone else, they might think actually, the market size is the most important thing. If I don't have the market size and if I don't have the right market channels, I don't succeed. Or someone else might think how I sell my product is the most important thing, or product in itself. But let me tell you, I think none of those are the most important single factor contribute to the success of a startup company. I think it's a misperception and also an illusion of many founders that those things are the most important thing.
Yeah, you think that it's an illusion if we say that, the good team, or let's say, the product is not a right product for this market, the idea is not good enough, or the market size is so big, it's not possible to go through, for the efficient growth. You think these are all not important, and you want to give us a kind of solution that would be the best solution and it would work it.
Yes.
Sure, this is so controversial. I mean, I'm sure that there are many viewers that they might say, no, it's not this, we've done that, and so on. So are you sure that this is not going to be? So I'm just going to making this point that it's going to be really interesting how we can say these things are not that much important. Then you're waiting to have your answer that what is the right thing and what is the right way and what is the right method.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to hearing that what could be, which I can learn as well.
Great, let's go for it.
So then what is the right approach for that?
Yeah.
What is this?
So let me explain why I said what I said, because as you said, it's pretty controversial. So all those things, I didn't say they are not important. They are very important, but I don't think they are the most important single factor contribute to success. Why? Because all of those can be gained. They're external resource that one startup founder or the startup team can obtain over the time. But if this thing that I'm gonna talk about, if that thing doesn't happen, and none of the other things will follow, therefore, it's not gonna be successful in the end. So I think what I'm gonna talk about for the learning part is the most important thing, that in order to have all those, investment and right team and then a right product market fit.
You just want to just stop here. Right? You just want to prepare everyone for the greatest answer that you're gonna have. What could be that approach?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna say that all these things that you mentioned. I mean, the right product, right market, right people, and so on. They can be efficient and would work if something happened, or if there is something in that team, or something in that company or a startup. If that happening in that startup, then all these things can be together, can make the successful team and a successful company, and a kind of successful product in the market. So what that is, my dear.
Ooh, okay, no pressure. As I said, all those things can be learned, though all those things can be obtained. So then the fundamental thing that leads to those factors and leads to success is very, very, very simple. Then that's the capability and ability to learn. So they learn how to, with the lean startup method, they learn how to build and measure and pivot. They learn how to, I'm going to introduce the method of ROSA as well. They learn how to successfully run a project from the starting point to the end. And then they learn actually some of their existing perceptions are not right. And then they learn also how to build the team. They learn how to get the investment. So before any of the other things happen, they need to learn the art of learning. Because after you get that too, everyone can be successful. And every startup founder, they need to become masters of learning. And then they can talk about the other things and the success that might happen.
So you talk about learning. I mean, the learning process, the type of learning that they gotta have, and you said that they're having that ability to learn. Which they can pivot, or they can change their policy, or they can change the product, or anything which is needed to have their company successful. Yes. So my question is, how they have to understand that they have to pivot, or how they have to understand that the ability of their learning is in that the level that can help their company have a sort of exponential growth and so on. So is there any method, or is there any way to go through that? Is there any specific model that our viewers or some other people and founders or co-founders in future, they watch our videos in YouTube, Yuko, or any other platform to get us?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm gonna introduce two methods that when I did my two startups in the past, and then it's very helpful. And also that's a method, especially the ROSA method, is applied very widely in executive coaching.
What is it? What?
So the first method.
What is the name?
Oh, it's called ROSA. So
ROSA.
Yeah, ROSA, ROSA.
ROSA. ROSA, this is a kind of model which is being used for startups, or this is a kind of different model?
Actually, it's a different model. I don't think it's really used for startups per se. I think probably none of our viewers have heard of it before.
Who's using that? You are using ROSA for for the startups now?
I did, but where I learned about it is from actually executive coaching. So this method is used very much by coaches, and then especially for executives in big companies. But then I find actually, especially for startups, it has a lot of value for the startup founders as well as a method for learning.
ROSA.
Yeah.
So you want to apply ROSA on the startup methods and so on, then what exactly it is and what it goes ROSA for, ROSA.
Yeah.
I'm really so excited to see what that is.
Oh, great. So ROSA, R stands for reality, and O stands for objective, and S stands for solution, and A stands for action.
Oh, awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm going to write all of that. I'm going to learn.
All right.
Awesome. So the R goes for reality, O goes for objectives,
Yeah.
S goes for solution,
Yeah.
and
A
goes for
action. Yeah.
Cool. ROSA. I mean, if you have a friend whose name is Rosa, so you should tell them that there is an awesome model. I mean, this is something is similar to lean startup, or this is different from lean?
It's different from lean startup, but when I apply ROSA, and then I think there's great also value to apply it together with the lean startup, and which I will explain when I just go deeper into the ROSA model, because in solution action phase, we can attach that one with lean startup, which I think you went through last time. So I think it's a very interesting continuation from last time's.
Yeah, for me it's awesome. I'm learning
episode.
a lot from our guests that every week we are having them on Thursday on GVC Live. So I'm learning again here for a ROSA model.
Yeah.
So how is it, what it goes reality, what it means reality? I mean, for if you want to just put it for the startups, and how we can define it for the startups.
Okay, so let me start from the letters, and then R stands for reality, and then it believes actually when it comes to learning, and sometimes it just pops in our head like, hey, today I want to learn how to do marketing, and then tomorrow I want to learn how to do design well for my product. But everything actually started, you need to start with a reality, your own very own reality, and then there are two key points for reality that each startup founder, when you go through this process, you need to kind of just do the check for that. The first one is, when you do reality check, always remember there are pluses and minuses. Because as a startup founder, sometimes we're over-critical towards our own product and team. So we're always thinking about, I need to improve on this and that, but forgetting, actually there's something going very well. So we always play our strengths, and then the strengths of a startup founder or the startup team decides how fast and how high the startup team can go. And then the second factor we need to check is that not only is your reality as a startup founder, also get another perspective from your team members and also external customers. It's very important to get a 360-degree reality check of where you are at this moment. And after those two things, a very, very important thing is, after this reality check, you need to get to one point, is to find what is the most significant sector that you need to focus as a startup. What it means, let's just give example, right?
Yeah.
So let's say this is you are running a startup that produce t-shirts. And you sell t-shirts, you design t-shirts and you sell t-shirts. And then in the reality check, you say, I have great design. I have great product. The quality is very, very, very good. And then I have a great, very small but great kind of very loyal customers and who always come back. But I don't have enough customers that I expand my business. And then you find that part. And then after that reality check with yourself and then with your team and with the customers, and you find, actually the marketing to reach more customers, that is the one single factor will help me the most to get where I am. So after reality check, that's where you need to get the outcome out of reality check. Sometimes we just like go through a list of things without getting anywhere. But after the reality check, find that one single focus that you need to have to develop your business.
So it means that in reality check, you have to consider that we are not supposed to just go through some assumption that we might have, but we have to go through and see what customers or market are leading us to where, because that's the right way that we have to go. Otherwise, if we want to have a kind of product, either we call it t-shirt or car or PC, laptop, mobile, whatever we call it, if we're gonna go through to the right direction which customer doesn't want it, so it doesn't work.
Exactly.
So in reality, that you're talking about the balance and dimensions and looking at the market and looking at your team internally, externally, all the aspects have to be seen. That's the thing that you're pointing that. So what about the second one? After, based on ROSA model that you're talking, we have objectives. What objectives goes for?
The objectives, there are two kinds of objectives here. So one objective is your long-term goal. And it's continuation from the reality check you just had. So for example, now you find out, oh, actually my marketing sucks. And that's where I need to focus. And that's the one single factor will contribute to my success. So then you set your long-term goal. So let's say in 3 years, I have the team and then we'll do the marketing that is the best, let's say, in China. And we're the #1 brand, the marketing brand in China in maybe 5 years. That's the long-term goal. And then you come back to check your short-term goal, which means, for example, in 2-3 months, then what is the first thing that you can do in order to reach your long-term goal? What is the small baby steps that you need to learn in order to get there? So maybe then you find out, so if I want to become the #1 brand in China in 5 years, and what I need to learn now, for example, is social media. That could be, I want to become actually a social media channel that reach, for instance, 100K followers, and then that's the starting point. And then so like, if that's what I need to learn in order to reach my long-term goal, then it's based on reality, it's based on future, and you have a focus of what you need to learn.
Okay, nice. Well, let's go through that example that we had, because for this example, for the t-shirt that you said, so based on reality, we said how would it be, and how would it be for the long-term plan if you have a kind of company that we are producing t-shirt, different types of t-shirt, different design and so on. How could it be the long-term? Because I just want to elaborate by this example, giving a kind of a complete meaning of what you're talking about, which is objectives. So now objectives, we set the short-term and long-term. And we have to make our long-term goals into pieces, and then we get through those short terms one by one, after by after. How would it be for a kind of t-shirt producing company, that how we can have it, for example, based on marketing? If you have a t-shirt producing company, you're a startup, how it goes, the example?
I think, as I mentioned, for example, if they find out based on reality check, marketing is their like weakest link, and then so they want to become the best marketing brand in China in 5 years. If that's their long-term plan, and then they need to start thinking about the baby steps they need to take now. So maybe the first one is that, I want to become the best social media channel with, let's say, 100K followers within maybe 3 or 6 months. And then so they just need to find that one specific thing and reach it in 3 months. And then so that's the learning point they are gonna start. They don't start from everything like, marketing just have so many different aspects, 4 Ps and all those. So they just need to find this one single thing that again, it's about focus. After finding marketing from their reality check, and then they find in order to reach their marketing goal, and then what are the first steps they need to learn in order to get there.
So what about another one in ROSA, ROS? S goes for solution.
Yeah.
So how solution works in that model?
Yeah. So in this model, as you can see, we don't just go right away into the, how do we solve things. We take a lot of time actually to check the reality, to set the right goal. Because we believe if there's sufficient evaluation and also planning, then it's much more effective when it comes to the solution and action phase. That you know exactly what you need to learn, and then you know exactly by learning this how it's contributing to the long-term growth of the company. Then it's very much targeted learning. The most actually scarce resource I think a startup team have is not money, it's time. We are running against ourselves in terms of time. So you really need to have very much targeted and focused learning and maximize the outcome. Then comes to the solution.
The solution, is this something for solution? When we are talking about solution, we are saying that the most successful people or most successful entrepreneurs are those who are good solution providers, because entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs every day they're challenging a lot. I mean, there are a lot of barriers, problems, ups and downs, and so on. And they are entrepreneurs who can, who are the best solution provider. So when I was just looking at all these features of entrepreneurs and successful entrepreneurs, I saw that the creativity is one of the major point, and their feature is creativity can help. What do you think about creativity?
Totally. I think you really just nailed it. For solution part, one of the most important thing is creativity. There are 4 levels of solutions. The first one is just, average ones. It's the ones that the most people will definitely just come to think about it. So if we take an example of Christmas party, and then so most of the people, when they think about, how do we throw a Christmas party? Christmas tree, Santa Claus. That is a very regular and interesting idea. For example, what if we have, some special sugar, or what if we have some twist into it? Then that's interesting idea. The third level is creative idea. It's like, wow, let's have something. Let me think. A chair party, a themed party for Christmas. And then there are innovative ideas. So for instance, before Apple came out, and then we are all trying to innovate in terms of the mobile screens and Nokia done a lot of things with Android, the keyboards and all that. But then we never thought, what if we keep it, for example, Android or Apple is touchscreen, and what if we keep it open source? So these kind of ideas are completely kind of disrupt the previous ideas. But it totally makes sense. And until we find that kind of idea, I think we need to keep searching. But it doesn't mean like we need to always find that innovative idea, that aha idea to solve a problem. But it just means that there are different levels of ideas. You need to identify for this problem. You just need a regular idea. You just need an average idea just to get it over with. Or sometimes this is a very critical issue and a problem. You need to get very deep in order to get an innovative idea to solve it. So you need to know there are different levels of ideas.
Cool. Then the last one is action. So how would it be the reality, objective, solution? Then it goes to action. So
that's the most interesting part in my opinion, because without action, none of the previous stages make any sense. It's all about the solution, and especially taking the action to solve it. So the action part, then it's about execution, and then there are tons of theories on that. But here I want to bring back the lean startup you mentioned last time.
That's awesome. So you mean for taking an action, here we have let's say, so we have solution. When we're talking about solution, then creativity. And then we have the operation part, which is the action. Then we gotta have action plan based on that. I remember that during your talk that you mentioned that validating the measurement. What is validate the measurement? And so what is it talking about? Then I think I heard it also from a column that last week that he was mentioning that measuring your data, measuring your statistics and so on. How it is, as we are talking about, lean startup as well now, because ROSA at the end goes to lean startup, as you're saying, for the action plan. Yeah. How it is, how we want to validate the measure, or what exactly is talking about?
Yeah, you see the magic actually in this ROSA model is in solution and action actually is a loop. So after you come up with a solution, of course you do according to it. And then after the action you get the feedback. And then you measure the feedback, and then you pivot, you change something, and then you come back to the solution again. And then it's a loop. So solution, action, and then come back to solution until this loop will end until you reach your objective. So that's kind of a loop there. And then in this loop, then it's the right moment to apply the lean startup idea. So just as I think last episode that when it was described, in this model, the most important method is called build, measure, and learn. So
exactly.
3 steps there. And then so that fits perfectly with this solution and also action part. So the solution part is the starting of build. You build your minimal viable product. And then is the measure part. So you go out of the building, you go to the market and you test it. That's the action part. And then you see how the market react to it. And then you design this process so scientifically. There are some set variables, but then maybe only very few variables, and you just go out and test it. And then after this, and you learn, validate the learning, and then you come back to solution, like change something in your minimal variable product. You pivot or you preserve, and then it's a loop again.
Perfect. So let's say it that way. If we say that we have input, then we have processing, then we have output. So input process, if we make it in 3 steps, input, processing, output.
Right.
Input processing for startups is going to be if you want to just adjust it with the build, measure, and learn based on lean startup, we say that when you build or you have your MVP, and when you get into market or you get into your the testing phase, yes, if you go for feedback, which is gonna be input. You get feedback. Okay, I'm testing my MVP, which we talked about MVP last episode or last time, which is minimum viable product.
Right.
The least product that you can deliver into market, which can deliver your service, or it can shows the basic and fundamental part of your product, which can be deliverable. Yeah. Input is the feedback.
Right.
So you get the data. You get the feedback, then you process it.
Yes.
It means that you measure, as you mentioned. So you measure it, you process it, how it is, how it's going to be, and what we are good in, what we are weak in, and what we have to do.
Right.
Then after that, it output is action plan.
Exactly.
And then it's a loop, as you mentioned, which is beautiful. I think ROSA and Lean Startup. They have to get engaged.
Yeah.
So that's a good approach to make these 2 models adjust together, and each of them, they're helping each other in a kind of loop that we have. Cool, awesome. As we are running out of time, so for the last thing, I just want to ask you, what is your advice for all entrepreneurs, specifically for those entrepreneurs in Shanghai?
Wow.
It's a tough market for startups.
Definitely.
Beijing is better. You can raise a lot of money
I
in
love
Beijing.
Shanghai. Yeah.
So what is your advice for all entrepreneurs, and also specifically for Shanghainese, which we are expat, but we are in Shanghai. I mean, you are from where where you live, yes?
Yeah, exactly. I think Shanghai is such diverse city with its openness and with its international, the spirit in itself. So I think my advice for entrepreneurs here, especially now it's an English-speaking program. So I think probably more tailored for the viewers who are listening to this episode, is that So when it comes to the resource, I think for the English speakers or the international startup founders who are here, I think the number one maybe advice I'm gonna get is when it comes to the team, make sure that also you have this dynamic within your team, which means that if you are a foreign startup founder, and then make sure that you also get the knowledge and then also the learning from the local side as well. And then, of course, going back to the topic today, everything can be learned. So instead of sharpening your marketing muscle or your product building muscle in the very beginning, then make sure that you have the muscle to learn. That actually will contribute to the long-term success in a very sustainable way. In Chinese, there's a saying that to give other people fishes, it's better to teach how to fish. So then don't always think about catching the fish today. Then you call it a good day. Think about, if I learned a trick about how to fish, about fishing in general, then that's a good day for a startup. Yeah, so I think that would be my advice. But then, of course, another very important advice is always listen to GBC live. So just learn something every week.
Thank you so much. That was a great compliment.
And then come to SLUSH event as well.
Perfect, awesome.
Yeah.
Chen Wang.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We have our event coming very soon.
We're gonna have a stand-up talk as well. So we're gonna stand it here, which is gonna be unofficial talk.
Oh, okay.
The official talk, as it being recorded actually.
Yeah.
It's gonna finish. Then
Cool.
we're gonna just put away these seats.
Yeah.
These chairs. Then we're gonna talk about.
Great. So 12th and 13th, we have SLUSH in Shanghai happening, and then for all the viewers today, we have a very special offer. October. Yeah. So we have a very special offer for all the viewers today, and just today, if you listen to this podcast, go to shanghai/org website, and then you can use the promo code GBC 2017. You can get a free ticket today, and usually so it's just a special offer for our
our viewers. If you want to be sure that you were watching this and you could hear Chen. You just tell us the password, because if you weren't watching this session, so you wouldn't know that. Then you can understand if you were watching. Just try to contact us. We are quite. Are we famous? No, we are not famous.
Well, no, very soon.
No, very soon. I mean tomorrow, the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just try to approach us, and we are giving you some other free access to other programs. Well. We are happy that we are under the umbrella of the SLUSH, and we are happy of Peter, Chen, and other teams in the SLUSH. Really appreciate Chen Wang. Really, that was an awesome live session with you. Hope we have you here again and again.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, you're welcome. We know that you were so busy, so thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we're gonna put away these seats, and we're gonna have an official time. Thank you so much.